And he said unto his disciples, the days will come when ye shall desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and ye shall not see it. Which
there we go. Boom.
totally refutes any notion that the disciples saw Jesus' second coming.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to episode 8 of Debunking Satan's Short Season with Michael Kahn. Yeah, this is a retry of what we tried to record earlier. But anyway, how's it going, man?
I'm alright. Other than, what I've been going through over the last week and a half. Finished up with cold now to top it all off. So.
And you guys are going into winter now, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going into summer. It's like literally just a swap.
Trees are shedding the leaves. And there's a lot of wild geese around us, so when they start flying, it was a good
Even
sign.
me, I suffer with sinuses with season change.
Yeah, I usually get a cold twice a year, definitely.
But yeah, this is episode 8. So if anybody's missed the previous episodes, they are linked below in the description. Hopefully you guys will go and watch from episode 1 because it is quite important to go through every scriptures we bring up to show why it's bunk.
Have we had any response?
Not really, other than insults. So that's practically all.
No, explanation to points with that.
No, the thing is, we get the same response, the same generic response by everybody. You guys are just evil. You are deceived. You're fighting for dispensationalists. You guys are Zionists, and it's like all we're doing is just presenting what the Bible shows, and it shows what you're presenting as heretical, and you going literally against Deuteronomy 4 verse 2 because you're adding to the Bible, which is definitely not something you should be doing. That's all. Instead of getting a rebuttal to anything we bring up, because that's what we bring is scripture, we get insults.
The problem for me is it's their interpretation, and they're telling us that we're wrong when Bible speaks for itself. Imagine you were teaching something that you've got wrong, and then you were leading others down that same path. I mean, I don't know whether I'd like to be in that position when it comes to meeting Jesus.
100% agree. Yeah, at the end of the day, guys, like we say, you're going to have to stand before God alone, not for anybody else. So just make sure that you humble yourself and that you're honest with God with yourself, because someone else's opinion is not going to count at all.
No. I'm just glad that it seems like there's a lot believing it, but when you look at the majority of Christianity, they're a tiny little heretical group, really.
Yeah, these Satan's Sword Seasonists are actually just a little fringe cult kind of group on the internet. If you talk to normal, ordinary Christians, they just literally say, no, that's nonsense. Half of them haven't even heard of these people doing this. So it's just come from parroting their favorite influencers on YouTube and just parroting it based on gullible ignorance. Actually, that's all it is. And because they get so prideful and have so much ego, they don't want to humble themselves and say, okay, yeah, guys, I was wrong. They will rather go and attack a tooth and nail because they believe that's why would their favorite influencer lie to them?
Yeah, they come from the stance that they've got the high ground on it, that's what I've noticed. Even Ben, when he commented on will give me these scriptures that we're covering, he come a bit condescending,
They do seem very self-righteous. Like they are just right, everybody else is wrong. It doesn't matter what you present. They're very hypocritical too. I mean, we keep bringing this up. You can't use history to make the argument, but they use history to make the argument. We can't use archaeology to make an argument, but they want to use archaeology. It doesn't make sense. It's literally just hypocritical. They make a point, and as soon as you use the same standards, you're not allowed to use those same standards because it debunks them.
I mean, archaeology is one of the biggest killers in my opinion. You know, I mentioned to you, didn't I? I can validate through coins that have been found in England every monarch going all the way back to 1066. You know, that's a set timeline that's verified. You know, so where is this hidden timeage? Like, you know, where is it? You know, it's alright to say 1,000 years have been added or whatever, like, but how you got to prove it? You can't just say it. You know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. As soon as you say prove it, they can't. Then they run to the default. Let's just look at scripture. Okay, then we look at scripture. Then they take a cherry pick part and take the whole verse out of context and says, "You see, this is saying this," and you're like, "But no, that's not what the whole verse is. The whole chapter is literally about this, opposite of what you're saying." And then when we go to another scripture, for instance, when we bring Luke 17 up, which contradicts what they're saying, no, that they just act like it doesn't exist. That scripture you've never presented, nothing, and it's very sad. It's definitely a deceptive kind of spirit upon them, and they don't want to just let their ego go and say, "Okay, yeah, guys, I'm sorry, I was wrong." Instead, now we are evil dispensationalists, and we are following Darby, whoever the hell. I've never even heard of his name before. These people brought it up, so it's quite sad. If I want to be labeled a futurist, then so be it, because the Bible is a futuristic book. It's literally
I'll
prophecy.
take all labels. I mean, I'm a futurist, I'm a Darbyist, I'm a dispensationalist, I'm a Zionist, I'm a Nazi. You know,
Yeah,
the list
everything.
goes on. Like,
It's crazy.
oh yeah, I'm a Jew as well. I forgot about that. You know,
Yeah,
crazy
yeah, you're
stuff, man.
Pakistani Jew.
Yeah, Pakistani Jew.
What are you, Pakistani Zionist Jew?
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Well, apparently I'm not white, so I don't know. I'm a Mossad agent from South Africa. Makes so much sense.
Doing what, like, you know?
I don't know.
What exactly are you gaining by being a Mossad agent in South Africa? Like?
I have no idea. I'm still waiting.
Are you smuggling
Obviously.
Krugerrands?
So what scriptures did they bring up today to look
Right,
at?
yeah, let me share screen.
By the way, guys, please hit the likes, share the show if you like this content, because it does help you guys to keep up to date with what we are looking at.
So it would have been Luke 9:27, but I'm going to scratch that because we've already covered that to death. You know, it's
Luke 17's up again. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Huh.
we're going to Luke 17, but Luke 9:27. That's just you know, truly I say to you, some of you will not pass away until you see me coming in my glory and all that. You know?
But that also goes against what Luke 17 says, though.
Yeah, but obviously, straight carried on. It's transfiguration, isn't it? Like, so it's clearly talking
Yeah,
about
exactly. That's why we say it's very important to take into context the whole chapter. But because they cherry pick one little verse and they see one word in that verse and therefore they think it's making their case, it's so wrong. It's usually 99% of the time it's against their case.
Yeah. But like I said, we've covered that, haven't we? So I don't see it fighting.
Yeah. No, Luke 17, I think, is going to be great.
So we'll go to Luke 17. So we start at 25 in the I'm sharing.
Yeah, it's looking good.
So again, you get, like I said, you get a list of verses, but no explanation as what they think this verse means with respect of this belief that we're in Satan's short season. So I think because this first verse, 1725, contains generation, I think that's the reason that I presented these in first place. So I'll read from them anyway. But first must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. As it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they did drink, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and the flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise, also as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they did drink, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded. You think it's funny that Lot's mentioned after what you were talking about last night?
Oh, last night. Yeah.
Yeah. But the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of Man is revealed. So
Would you do me a favor? Because
yeah,
they started on 25. Can you go to 22 quickly?
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So we start at Luke 17:22, and there's an heading, second coming foretold. And he said unto his disciples, the days will come when ye shall desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and ye shall not see it. Which
There we go. Boom.
totally refutes any notion that the disciples saw Jesus' second coming.
But that's the thing. What you don't understand is he brings up Luke 17, but he starts at 25 because he thinks, oh, it's his generation. Therefore, it's going to make their point. When you go to the whole context, this is to the disciples, and they're saying specifically to the disciples, you will long to see me come down in the second coming, but you will not see it. In the same verse they bring up.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you go further up to Luke 17:20, and when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of God should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation. Neither shall they say, lo here, or lo there, for behold, the kingdom of God is within you. You know, so this lo here and lo there, you know, they'll be saying, the kingdom's here, the kingdom's there, you know what I mean? And it's just not.
It still boggles my mind. It boggles my mind how they don't understand how this just debunks everything they say.
Yeah. So Luke 17:22, it totally takes out the situation that disciples see Jesus' second coming. And then it goes on to mention, as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank. So what this is...
I just want to point out, yeah, so in these days of Noah, that's what we're seeing now, today. It wasn't as in the days of Noah when the disciples were there.
No, but like
not at all.
What it's saying here is, see, there's a common misunderstanding regarding when Noah were getting ready for flood, and that people seem to think that he were preaching to people and warning them that flood were coming, and that's not true. God had already decided who were going on ark, and if you it says this in flood account as well. You know, they were eating, drinking, and giving in marriage. This means that they were just basically getting about the business without a caring world, and didn't have a clue that flood were coming.
Yeah, and but you see, that's why I blame the movie Evan Almighty, which I think was still one of my favorite all-time videos, movies, where he was warning everybody there's a flood coming, and they were all mocking him because he's building a boat and stuff. But yeah, when it comes to the scriptures alone, Noah and them were just him and his sons were just building their boat for what, like 100 years in the middle of the desert. No one. I mean, there was no. It doesn't say he was even warning anybody or anything. He was just doing what God told him to do.
It don't mention out about it. Like, I mean, you can speculate maybe he were preaching, but God literally said that Noah and his generation were, his genealogy were clean, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, Noah also understood where they were living. The generation, you could say, was very evil. Yeah. Okay, it was literally like what we have today. Very, very perverse and evil, self-loving, doing very abominable things. Yeah, so he wouldn't want them to be with them anyway.
No,
to restart new.
No, but I just want to show you a verse just to back up what I'm actually saying, that it weren't warning people that flood were coming. If we go to Matthew 24.
Their favorite verse again.
Yeah, Matthew 24. Well, we've got Jesus speaking. For as in the days that were...
You're just going to have to share the screen now.
Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing. Yeah.
There we go.
Now, yeah. So Matthew 24:38. Jesus speaking, for as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. So what we're talking about here is, and this is the problem I have with your date setters, like these people talking about rapture and giving you a specific date. People will give you a specific date for when Jesus is coming back. You can't, he comes like a thief in the night. Like as we've just read here, people weren't, because like it's comparing past things that have happened with future things, So the second coming is likened to Sodom and Gomorrah when they were getting about their lives, and then fire and brimstone were rained down on them. And in Noah's day, people were getting on with their lives and didn't have a clue what was going off, and then flood came and took them. So it's likening Christ's second coming to them. He'll come like a thief in the night.
Yeah, and that's the thing which I'm still looking all over. Everybody's still pushing this 25th of this September, Jesus return, and it's like no matter how much you show them, the Bible tells you specifically, do not believe anyone telling you Jesus is coming and making a date and that. Yet they still push it. I mean, yes, they make excuses like if it doesn't happen. That shows you they aren't really confident in what they're saying. But it shouldn't matter when Jesus comes anyway, because you should be ready now. You should be ready tomorrow. You should be ready anytime.
Yeah.
But yeah, no one will know.
Talks about thief at night. If you're asleep, then thief comes in and robs you, So
and that's why I use Luke 12 as my motto for my channel. Keep the oil lamps burning. Keep the oil full.
Yeah.
Because you never know when.
No. And this is, we'll get to, I think there's some verses to come about this, but this where, like, the talk that Jesus is coming quickly and Jesus is coming soon. It's the kind of language you use because no one knows when he's coming. So you like you've just said, you expect him to come quickly, you got to be prepared because you don't know when he's coming, but that's the language used. It doesn't literally mean when he says he's coming quickly that it's going to be in a week or a month or a year or 10 years, no one knows.
Yeah, I think what he was trying to iterate to them is just be ready because you don't know when it's coming.
Yeah.
Because if he says, okay, I'm coming in 2,000 years or something, do you really think that people are going to worry to be right? And no, they're just going to say, okay, let's do what we want until before he died.
Yeah, the ones who obviously will pass away before that, they've got no hope, have they, really? They're just, well, he's not coming, so I'll do what I want.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for today, right?
But, it was a quick one.
I know, but I see my videos on it were quite short, you know what I mean? They weren't long streams. But so why were I giving them verses? Because, I'm just sharing the screen again.
But I still don't understand why they put Luke 17 up. But this is what I say. It starts off with Luke 17 and moves to 25, verse 25.
Why were I given Luke 25 to 30 as evidence of the idea that we're living in Satan's short season? Like I said when I did my original video, it's just not there. There's nothing in them passages that you can give me that's going to make me think, oh yeah, I were wrong. We are in Satan. There's no there to do that,
But like I say, Luke 17 specifically goes against their whole claim that Jesus returned in 70 AD because they're claiming the disciples saw Jesus. Yeah. But Luke 17 literally says to the disciples, Jesus, his words saying there, you will not see me. You will yearn to see me, but you will not see me.
Yeah. And generation in that passage is G104. Like I've kept showing, I'm not going to bring it up again, but there's multiple meanings for it, a past generation, a future generation, the one at the time. It can mean, as it's used for perverse generation, like literally calling Pharisees sons of the devil,
Maybe we should bring up Janeo again so they can see
it. You want me to bring it up again?
Yeah, I think it's going to be best.
Let me find it because it's
Yeah,
in.
because generation is used as genera, and it's used like Michael's saying in specific context. It's used in a different way. Um, that's why when it
You
comes
can
to the
only
Greek,
determine the way Jesus were using it or anybody else by reading and taking the context of the verses.
yeah, exactly. That's where you have to. That's why it's so important not to cherry pick. Very important to read the whole context of a
Yeah, like
scripture
why not have like
chapter.
just said read Luke 17, or just read Matthew 25. Why take just little nuggets of it out? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They wouldn't want to do that because as soon as, like I said, go back to 22, it shows opposite of what they're claiming. So they wouldn't want to show that.
I'll have to send you this flat, so I don't know if I've sent it yet, have I? I'm sharing.
No, I don't have it.
I have to
But I should
send
be
it.
able to get it anyway.
I have to send it you. So if you go and look, like it's G107 for the commonest Greek word rendered generation is genea one G1074. It is a noun describing the class of those that have been begotten. Thus, it can refer to the whole of mankind living at one time, successive waves of a genealogy, or even an age. And then it breaks it down further. So it can mean fathered, a birth, a nativity, that which has been begotten, men of the same stock, a family, the several ranks of a descent, successive members of a genealogy, metaphor, a race of men like each other in endowments, pursuits, and character, in a bad sense, a perverse race, the whole multitude of men living at the same time or an age, you know.
But you
Only
see,
after,
that's what I say. It comes down to the context. So it doesn't help just reading a cherry pick part. You need to actually go look at the whole context of the scripture so you know what the context of
look
that
at
word
it.
means.
Look at it this way: if I were talking about a football team in future, you know, and I said this football team's going to be playing this team, and I can literally say this football team, but it's
Hmm.
a football team in future. But I can still say this foot. Don't
This
mean
football
I'm
team,
talking
exactly.
about one in the same period of time I'm in. You
Yeah,
know,
because in your mind, you seeing a football team. Everybody outside's not in your mind. We don't know what football team you're talking about because you haven't given context to what the football team is. But that's the great thing about the context is given in Matthew 24. It's given in Luke
yeah,
17 because it's talking about a specific generation in the end of days, the days of Noah, and prophecies that have to be fulfilled for that to take place, which is only happening now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what's
So
great about it.
the context literally is this generation that sees all these things fulfilled. You know, they
And
haven't
this is
all
what
been fulfilled yet.
and this is also why I specifically always bring up in Matthew 24 when it says, "He that readeth this," because when he was speaking that with his mouth to the disciples, they weren't reading it; they were listening to it. They were there talking to him. It's for the generation reading it, that has to understand. Hence, why we have understanding today for what generation it really is, because we're seeing those prophecies being fulfilled.
So if you want to, as JT says, call Jesus a liar if you disagree that he's talking to the generation that's alive at the same time as Jesus. I mean, he's specifically talking to his disciples when he says this generation. So if if um, if he's talking to disciples and he's saying this generation shall not pass, and why are disciples passing? Why in Luke 17 does he say you'll not see the days of the Son of Man?
Why did John of Patmos live way after the so-called
Exactly.
second coming?
And then, like, I mean, you can pull string out of this all day long, you know. Why is the martyrdom happening through the supposed millennial reign? Why is there
Why is it happening today?
why is there idolatry in supposed millennial reign? You know, you
But
start.
the thing that catches me a lot is like Mark. Mark was written after 70 AD. He didn't mention anything of Jesus' return. Same with John of Patmos, written 96 AD, way after the 70 AD, after they claimed Jesus returned.
There's
Why didn't
absolutely
he mentioned it's still happening in a future tense.
there's absolutely no evidence to say that John wrote Revelation pre
Before.
70. You can
There's
claim it
nothing.
is because you need to,
But
but
that's the
all
thing.
evidence points to it being later, like that.
All history, archaeological evidence, everything shows the reign of Domitius, and all of them shows the time of reign and when he was actually sent to Patmos and he wrote Revelation, which totally debunks any notion they even can bring up for this. But that's why I say they don't want to trust history, they don't want to trust archaeology, they don't want to trust the scriptures which is presented because it goes against their argument.
Yeah.
And to me, that's just plain out dishonesty, actually.
But they're right sneaky though, because they'll say, "Well, I trust Jesus' words," you know.
Me too.
So, I do as well. Like, so which one's right then, you know? But it's sneaky that, you know.
Yeah, like I said, I trust Jesus' words. So Luke 17, verse 22, he tells the disciples, they will not see, they will long to see him, but they will not see him. There we go. So did Jesus contradict himself when he was talking about this generation in Matthew 24? No, Jesus doesn't contradict himself. He doesn't lie. So who would be the one actually contradicting himself? The people pushing Satan's short season by using that verse and claiming Jesus talk about that generation. Simple as that.
It is quite simple,
Mm-hmm.
like. But I would say to a certain short season, you shouldn't be saying that you're calling Jesus a liar if you don't go along with certain short season, because I beg to differ on what them scriptures say. You know, I personally think you guys don't understand what's being said. You have a belief that you can't back up. You can't back up with history. You deny it all. You can't back it up with archaeology. You can't back it up with scriptures. You
Yeah,
know,
but I mean, if we like
you
go,
call me. You said to me that I'm calling Jesus a liar.
yeah, and I mean, this is why if we look through and we're like, okay, show us where the stars have fallen from the earth, fallen to earth. They can't, because we can go outside now and you can see the stars. Literally, it's the same stars that's been around for thousands and thousands of years. That alone debunks anything they claim. The sun turning blood, the oceans turning, into blood.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what I mean? None of these things have happened yet. The Euphrates River is only starting to dry up now. Okay? That hasn't happened in history. The fish, the freshwater fish, which now is in the Dead Sea
Yeah, that's
because
crazy.
of the river flowing, that's a Zechariah fulfillment now, which is in the end days. You cannot have Ezekiel and Zechariah's end time prophecies fulfilled now if it already happened when Jesus was there. You understand? It doesn't gel.
But where's the testimony of these things being fulfilled then? Because prophet, like I think I said this last week, prophecy and fulfillment don't work like you just take it on faith. You know, there's
That
always
was what
someone witnesses it being fulfilled and
But
writes
that's
it.
a point we brought up last week. That's remember you were saying before, and we can't remember what the point was. The point was, prophecy requires observation, and if you have no observation to fulfill that prophecy, you can't claim it's fulfilled.
Yeah.
It's really as simple as that.
It's just hearsay, isn't it? Otherwise, it's like someone literally said that to me about Mount of Olives. I don't need to see Mount of Olives split in two. I just have faith. I mean, what's pointing the prophecy then? You're writing prophecy off and saying, well, you just take it on faith whether it's happened or not. No, it don't work like that. The reason God gives prophecy is so it can be fulfilled, so you know it comes from God. So you know when God says something, it happens. Otherwise, you're throwing all that in bin.
Because it's showing God is true God. He doesn't lie. It's exactly that. And prophecy, I think, is the big crux when it comes to this argument of this, because they got to claim the prophecies have been fulfilled, but they can't show any evidence that it has been fulfilled. Where with us, we can say, yes, prophecies have to be fulfilled. Some of them have been, and we can show they have been. And things that are getting fulfilled right now and still have to be fulfilled according to scripture. These are observable things.
Everything we're observing in world today is spoken about by everything we're seeing with Israel and that, you know. When you see Israel surrounded by armies,
Hated by all nations.
all yeah, hated by all, UN are most likely going to attack Israel. You know, it's on
Yeah.
cards.
No, it's quite a thing. I mean, I do really have come to like the belief now that the beast system is Islam. I,
Yeah, it's
it's
definitely going to play
seeming more and
back.
more to me that
Definitely.
way.
I mean, we're at a crux now in England where civil wars on cards. You know, and it's all Islam, and even people who aren't believers must see that it's a religious type situation. You can't have such a big religion like Christianity and Islam on a small tiny island like ours. It's impossible. They want to come here and they're open about it. They talk about it. They say, we're coming here. We want to take over. We want to in place Sharia law. Like Rotherham's mayor is now Islamist. Sheffield's mayor, Islamist. You know, all over the country, mayors are becoming, you know, they're Islamists. There's Islamists in government, you know, they're wanting to take over. They want to bring Sharia law, you know.
Yeah, and they've made it so clear that if you don't convert to Muslim to become a Muslim, you either have to pay the jizya, and they will still treat you as dirt, so it'll make it very uncomfortable for you.
Yeah, you become what's called a dhimmi. You know,
Yeah, yeah, do me, yeah.
you have to pay a tax that they allow you to be there and have your belief, but you have to pay for
But
it.
but that's the thing. They allow you to be there and have you. You're not allowed to attend church. There won't be any churches. You're not allowed to publicly speak about your religion. They can treat you like they want. If they walk past you, they're allowed to shove you off the road. They can literally treat you as nonsense. And if you don't comply to that, they have the right to, do that to you or kick you out of the land.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is, if they take over everywhere, where can you go?
No,
There's nowhere.
oh,
And what's not spoken of today, there's thousands and thousands of Christians daily. Daily. I'm not talking like monthly, daily getting slaughtered for being Christians in these Muslim countries.
uh,
It's not just normal, ordinary, just it's sick things. So it's really sad that people are defending
I
this
think
nonsense.
I think it's coming obvious that this whole Israel thing is to take people's eyes away from the real issue, which is Islam. And people need to understand we're not hating on Muslims. It's
I
Islam.
love
It's
it's Islam.
Islam.
It's the Islamic faith itself. Like I said,
I
there's a lot
mean,
of Muslims out there that are very nice people.
in an alternate reality, I'd have probably been a Muslim, like, if my dad had been in my life, you know. So we're not definitely not hating on Muslims. We want Muslims to come to Christianity. In fact, a lot of Muslims in England are coming to Christianity.
But some Muslims have become Muslim because they were ignorant to what the Quran actually says. Because unfortunately, a lot of the Muslims don't read the Quran. They have to rely on the Imam. The Imam gives them their knowledge, and the Imam teaches them that I have all the knowledge. If you want to know something, come ask me. So they don't actually go and read the book for themselves. Until you get those that actually read the book, and that's why you have so much apostates today. There's something that they're also not telling you. You know how much daily people are leaving Islam because they read the Quran themselves and they see um, how bad it actually is. And those apostates, unfortunately, are put on the death penalty list
Oh
under
yeah,
the
yeah.
Sharia law.
There's a. I'll have to try and find it for you because you might want to listen to it. Like, but there's a guy from England who left Islam, and he's had severe death threats. Can't move anywhere. If he moves anywhere and they find out, the straight roundhouse attacking him and that, I'll try and find it for you. Really interesting.
But I mean, like last night's stream we were watching with Apostate Prophet.
They were good,
I mean,
weren't
it was very good. I mean, he's in London and he feels unsafe to be in London as an ex-Muslim.
they?
I mean, what does that tell you?
Well, I mean, I walk around town and, there's more Muslim-looking people than there is white people, Um, generally, you can tell which ones are the Islamists and which ones
The
are
way-
what I call a bad Muslim, like who.
Yeah, you can see the way they dress as well.
Yeah, the
And
very
the way the
arrogant.
attitude is.
They're very arrogant. There's no politeness to them. You see
Yeah,
them
well,
ordering
but they
the.
taught. But I mean, they taught from a very young age, though, to be, like they are the only people. Everybody else is subhuman, very low class. And I find that very ironic that these are the same people claiming like Israel is claiming to be superior to everybody. But that's not what Israel actually teaches. If you actually, so like when the people always bring up the Talmud or something, it's like, have you ever read the Talmud? Do you even know what the Talmud is? Have you ever read the Torah?
Not
Because
every Jew
our
reads.
Bible literally is the Torah is part of our Bible.
Yeah, but not every Jew reads Talmud, though, do they?
No, that's what I'm trying to say. And the Talmud is literally just law, commentary based on law and on the religion by rabbis. That's it.
It has had some slights against Jesus forced into it, though, hasn't it, I think.
Yes, but that's the rabbis themselves. Remember, you also get different factions of Jews, and some of them are extremists, just like you get extremist Islamists. So does that now make every Israeli bad now? No.
You know where I stand on all that anyway.
Yeah.
But I think
But I follow what God says, that's all.
people don't understand that wherever Islam goes, they try and take over. It's a common thing. Look at history, what they've done.
Look at Turkey.
That's why there were holy wars, because they rocked up to
And they take it by
Jerusalem
force.
to cover.
And the thing is, they take it by force, just like they're trying to attempt now in the UK, like they're trying to attempt in France, in Canada, Australia.
Yeah.
And it's good to see people are starting to stand up against this. They even just had a big march in Australia as well.
Yeah.
I think Tommy Robinson's organizing one on the 13th of September again. So it's good to see them starting to stand up. But like you said, it's like on the verge of a civil war.
It's too late. People talk about fighting, in England. People talk about, we've got to fight this. We all need to stand up and fight. It's past. It's too late. We're overrun by them.
But I want to ask about this situation happening. How does this show that we're in Satan's short season? It doesn't. It goes against Satan's short season because, again, this is prophecy being fulfilled according to Ezekiel 37, which is happening now. So Jesus couldn't have returned yet.
Well, it talks about beheading, doesn't it? Who's most likely to be beheading Christians?
Islam.
That what's brewing, what's starting in England, Australia, everywhere, all Europe. What's brewing now, I believe, is we're getting to the point where it's going to be tribulation. Islam's going to play a really
the
big
great
part
tribulation.
in tribulation.
I agree.
Really is.
Yeah, and I mean, I've also been seeing more of like the claim, that the Jews are not of Israel or whatever. That all the scattered Jews now all over the world are getting persecuted very bad by people defending Palestine and Islam now. That they feel the only safe place they can go to now is Israel.
Well, what you're seeing happening is
Christians
are deciding that they're judging a people for God. It's down to God to judge whether you're a true Jew or a fake Jew. That's
exactly.
Not,
It's not for us to judge. I exactly 100% agree with that. And like Jesus says, the manner you judge, you will be judged.
But
so
as far as Israel's concerned, they're not even on my radar for being an issue for me living in England. It's Islam, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
I mean, what the Jewish population is 0.2% of the whole Earth's population?
Well,
Hardly anything.
I'll tell you something. Christians and Jews stand together at these protests.
All the time. I mean,
it's the Palestinian supporters who are calling everybody racist and Nazis and.
But that's the sad thing about it.
violent.
The people that call for this don't even know what's really going on. The same people saying, "Oh, Israel is apartheid state against." There's literally 2 million Palestinians in Israel. They live and work in Israel,
They've been
and
indoctrinated.
they're trying to say they're apartheid state. It's like, do you know how that works?
Well,
It doesn't make sense.
The thing is, like people who are attacking Israel that are indoctrinated, man. They truly are. They don't realize they are, but they are.
They need Jesus. It's as simple as that.
But like I've been saying lately, this YouTube thing that we're on has been used to steer people's minds. You think you're learning truth, but you're really being steered in a direction that's not really truth.
I agree.
That's what's happening.
People have become too complacent and too gullible just to accept anything that they hear. Unfortunately, people don't have critical thinking skills today. They don't have what I'd say the chutzpah to go and actually research a thing when they hear it and make sure if that's really true or not. Because 99% of the time, if you hear something, you can go and look at the research yourself and see if that's actually true. But like you said, the people on YouTube don't really do that.
Well,
they just hear it and then they accept it.
The moment
if it doesn't fit them, they don't accept it. If it fits them, they accept it.
The moment I started seeing loads of protesters waving Palestine flags, got me thinking like I need to pray and look into the Bible and see who I should be supporting on this, And the behaviour I see coming from, England's not Palestine for a start. So why are you protesting all over this country, waving Palestine flags when we're not Palestine?
Yeah, what do you guys have to do?
If you go and ask them, right, get on a plane and get you sent to Palestine and go and fight with them. Oh, no,
they don't
can't do that. Well, why don't you? I was a migrant. Oh, no, can't do that. I ain't got room, They want to tell everybody else. Like, they're organised, they come on coaches, and they come to people's towns and tell them that they're not welcome in their own towns and the Nazis. This is the entire spirit.
But that's the irony. That's the irony of the thing. Like I showed last night as well. That guy that went to a Muslim town in Afghanistan, and they literally got their own Mein Kampf kind of Arabic book, and everybody he was interviewing were praising Hitler. They were literally for Nazism. Now, these are the same people calling Jews and Christians Nazis. Does it make sense?
They call you a Zionist Nazi. Come on.
Like tonight, we're going to be going through a debate on the Temple that was on the Temple show between Misfit and Robot or something. But I'm only going to take the 15-minute short clip where Robot was literally defending Hamas and saying they're not terrorists. He was defending him. At a stage, it got so bad, he was literally saying the Jews in the Holocaust are like Palestine now, and the Nazis were as Israel is now. So total, it's going to be insane.
But you wouldn't look at. You can find all these videos on YouTube about what's going on in England. You go and look at all these Palestine protesters. They're dressed like terrorists. Some of them even wear vests. They're literally like they're wearing a bomb vest. Some of them and that. You're telling me that that's normal?
It's not normal. But the hate in their eyes as well.
They're horrible.
And how many of them have been caught literally getting paid to protest? Yeah. Why would you need to pay people to protest if it's the truth?
Crazy people, but yeah, the ones who I see on YouTube defending Hamas and whatever, I can't count you exactly the same as what we call Paliwalis in England, Palestinian protesters, Antifa and all that lot. I class you with them. If you're supporting
Mhm.
Hamas, you're with them. If you come to England, you won't be stood with Christians and Jews. You'll be stood with Palestine protesters supporting Hamas.
And the thing is, it's sad because they don't understand that Islam directly is fighting Christianity. It's directly opposing Christianity. And the Christians are supposedly sticking up for these people.
That's what
I
Quran
don't
tells
get it.
them, to fight with the Jews and Christians. That's what it literally says in Quran. I've read it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. It tells us that we should judge by the book.
I'm not seeing
But
Jews persecuting Christians in today's world like I do. 'Cause I don't.
it's really bad.
It's sad.
But yeah, I
Anyway,
wish people will open their eyes. Yeah, we kind of lost track. But
we
yeah, at the
are
end of
off
the
track,
day,
right?
but what this discussion was showing now, the time we're in now, is showing the end of days in prophecy. And that means it is impossible for Jesus to have come in 70
It's
AD
like if
because
you
it's been prophesied now.
if you think the Great Tribulation has happened, then you better start preparing for some bad times because you're wrong. It hasn't happened and it's coming. Get ready.
Yeah, and that's why I do think it's a coping mechanism for them because they don't want to accept that they're probably going to go through hard times. And because they don't want to accept that, it's a coping mechanism to say, well, it's already happened, so we're not going to go through it. And then what happens when you do go through it? What are you then going to say? You obviously going to think, oh, well, the Bible's false now.
Well,
Because
Bible. Do you know when all these things start happening? Bible says they come in fast succession. Like I don't think we're far off from Great Tribulation. That
I
means
don't think I
Son of Perdition's got to come. Mark of Beast's got to come. I mean, everything that's going off in England is looking to like bring in some kind of digital ID type thing. You know.
AI is definitely that's what the mark itself I think is AI integration, but the beast system I think is Islam.
Hmm.
So it's like a mixture combination of the two, and because the Antichrist is going to come and create this false peace between Israel and the Middle East, and stuff, all of them. He needs to make this temple because even last night when we were watching, when we were talking about the Teflon, where they put on their head
Yeah.
and
Wrap
it
it around.
sounded almost like an ancient kind of how can I put transhumanism kind of way they're thinking and talking.
Well, I mean, in truth community, it's been spoke about for years, hasn't it? You know, black cube worship, Saturn, and all that business. Like,
Yeah,
but yeah.
exactly. I can't believe I actually got up to like 48 minutes. That's crazy.
I just quickly want to recap.
Yeah.
Share screen. Where are we? Matthew.
But yeah, guys, again, hit the likes, share the show,
Yeah. Oh, it's Luke.
and I gotta say again, I still don't understand how anybody can have watched to episode 8 and not understand that Satan's short season just doesn't work.
Well, not like to not accept that there's a clear contradiction. Like that's what's balmy to me. Like to just be able to say, no, you're wrong, and you've got Jesus saying this generation won't pass, speaking to disciples, but yet most of the disciples pass away. Like, so how you deal with that in your head, I do not know. Like, but that's mental. Like, but so we've got to give these verses, Luke 17:25. But first must he suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. The generation here is the people who Jesus is living with and talking to. Yeah, you accept that fact?
Yes, I accept that.
Yeah. If we go to Psalm 118, I will praise thee, for thou hast stirred me, and art become my salvation. The stone which the builders refused has become the headstone of the corner. So Psalm's talking about Jesus, and is going to be refused by his people. In John 1:10, he was in the world, and the world was made by him, and the world knew him not. He came unto his own, and his own received him not. So we know that the generation in this verse, Luke 17:25, is the generation alive at the time of Jesus. There's no debate about that. But then he goes on to talk about, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days of the Son of Man. So we've jumped from him saying that first I have to suffer many things by this generation. So it's not saying that there's no there that says first I have to suffer by this generation before I come back to this generation. It doesn't say that, does it? You know, it moves on, and he's saying it'll be as in the days of Noah. That's Luke 20.
Yeah, and that's why I said it goes. If you go back to 17:22, it says specifically, Jesus is telling the disciples, and he's telling them, "You will not see me." So this is him talking to the disciples, and he is telling them, "Listen here, guys. These things have to happen. These things are not going to happen because you in your lifetime, because you're going to long to see me and you won't see me."
Yeah. So that ties in with, like, Jesus is saying on one hand to him, "You're not going to pass away." So he's giving him, he's literally saying to him, "I'm coming back in your lifetime." So he's giving him a time scale. But then it contradicts that when he's saying, "I'll come like a thief in the night." It's contradicting it here in Luke 17:27. When he said they did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given marriage until the day that no entered into the heart, and the flood came and destroyed them all. So Jesus is saying, like, when he comes back, it's going to be unexpected. But he's just told disciples, according to Satan's short season, is that he'll come back in their generation. That's a contradiction.
Yeah, so they would have known then. That's another contradiction, exactly.
Contradiction. So it's contradictory. Like, Satan's short season is just one big contradiction. So yeah, I think
it kind of just
I think that
sums it all up. But I mean, wow. After 8 episodes, and just these 8 episodes alone, I just can't see how a person is taking Satan's short season seriously. I don't get it.
I sort of get it in a way, like when I first became a flat earther and you get like drawn into following channels and yang on their every word, like, so I understand some of that. But a lot of people in this community have been around as long as me and ought to know better than that now. Like, you know, I woke up from that spell, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I take what a YouTuber says now with a pinch of salt. Most of what goes around in truth community ain't actually truth.
I agree.
You know,
but that's why I say people are very biased. If they hear something from an influencer that they like, it suits them, they just take it, they accept it. But they refuse with everything they got to even look into it to if they might be wrong. They refuse to look at the other argument. This is exactly the problem I have with like JT follow JC and them. They refuse to have conversation with me because they know if I have to present the arguments on their streams to their audience, they will be shown wrong. But they refuse this. Instead, they go and talk to people that don't actually have knowledge on the subject, because then they can bamboozle them to believe the same nonsense.
Well, that's
Jehovah's Witness. That's literally Jehovah's Witness kind of.
What someone with an agenda does. I mean, we see it with Dave Wise pushing his nonsense. He goes on anywhere he can get on, punting that crowd, you know. And it's the same thing. Get on as many platforms as possible and spread it. Like.
Exactly. But yeah, that's what I say. And anybody Satan's short season is actually watching this stuff, tell JT I'm still waiting for him. Why has he got time to go on other people's channels, but he hasn't got time to converse with me? Maybe make that make sense in your head, to wonder why do you think that is?
Why? I don't think it just hand waving, so there is no contradiction. I think that's all you're gonna get anyway. Like,
yeah, but the point is, I don't think he wants me to present this on his channel to anybody. He doesn't want his audience to listen and hear, oh, wait, there are contradictions. He only wants to present one side, and the side is, if you say against me, you're not a Christian. Because that's what he punts.
Mental.
It's crazy. But yeah, that was a good show. We got up to like 55 minutes again. Any closing statement?
Sorry that like there ain't as much to like because I don't want to start swapping into the other verses because they're like it gets confusing, to talk about so many. So that's the reason I covered it like I did in first place, short and sweet. So sorry that
And I
we
and I
drift onto
do
other things as well, like, but
and I do link your original points in as every week as well. So you will find his episode 8 also linked in the description below. So you can keep up, and then all the other episodes that you've done on here before will also be linked there. It
I
just
mean,
makes it easier, so you know.
I mean, I'm in. How much more can you pull it apart? Like, really, you know?
After even like with episode 5, when we went through there, I was like, how do you come past and just look at this and say, oh, it's Satan's sword season? How?
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. But yeah, it was great having you on again, man.
Yeah, sound. I mean, we've even pulled apart like this idea that Jerusalem is Jerusalem. Even that, even that's been pulled, dismantled. Like,
Yeah, the Mount of Olives being split has happened as the Grand Canyon. It's like, what is wrong with these people? But yeah,
it's a shame, like, and like that Greg, like, I know it rubs people the wrong way, like, but it does like sort of show like he has a love for scriptures, if you know what I mean. Even though he totally strawmans it, and that, I think it's a shame, that you end up in a position like that, where you're having to try and insinuate that like God ain't God,
yeah, it gets to desperation.
Mm. But that's what an heresy will do to you, like,
Exactly. But yeah, it was great having you on, man. Appreciate it, guys.
No
Hit the
worries.
like, share the show, and then we'll see you all next week. Blessings.